All right, really quickly, this week, because it is the Shabbos before Purim, it's called Shabbos Zachor, and there's a special Torah portion that's read about Amalek. Why is that? Because the main villain of Purim is Haman, and Haman was a descendant of Amalek. So it's a separate mafter, so it's a few psukim that's read, and then it's a different haftarah also that's read according to when it falls, whatever week it falls out, whatever the week is before Purim. It's a mitzvah that's incumbent upon everyone, man, woman, and child, Jewish man, woman, and child, to hear about this and to remember this, to remember what's being told here throughout the generations about what we're supposed to do about Amalek. Now, the Parsha Zachor is taken from the book of Devarim, so it's the last book of the Torah, and it's part of, before Moshe passed away, he recounted a lot, and remember this, remember that, take care of this, etc. So one of the things he's reviewing, the Moshe reviews, is the commandment about Amalek, that we are commanded to wipe out, to actually obliterate the name of Amalek. And it's told very specifically that you always have to remember what they did to you when you were traveling, when you left Egypt. You have to go back a couple weeks back for more details about what occurred, because we did speak about this, but remember what they did to you, remember how they surprise attacked you, remember how you were coming out of Egypt, you were on top of the world. We're writing a little bit more in because it's only 3 psukim, but the Jewish people were on top of the world and they were untouchable. An entire nation walked out. They had been enslaved by the greatest power of the time, and they walked out in broad daylight. They walked out of there, and not a dog barked, and they left. Millions left, and you can imagine that the entire world trembled before them, and there was no one that was ever going to touch them until Amalek came along, and Amalek was like, So what they did wasn't just like, oh, we have our enemies attacking us again. They broke the ice, right? The example that we gave is that it's boiling hot water. The first person to put their toe in cools it down for everybody else. Even if it's not, but mentally, they've cooled it down for everybody else. So this is part of why Amalek is something that must be absolutely eradicated. In a deeper sense, or in a Chassidic sense, it represents the doubt against God that can occur within us. And that's something that has to be absolutely obliterated. So it says, remember, you were faint and you were weary from your journey, and they came to attack your rear guard, and they were attacking the people who were outside the cloud. And there was no fear. They had no fear of God when they did that. When the land's going to be yours, and you're going to come into the land of Israel, you're going to take it over, you must erase them. You have to obliterate them. You will obliterate the name of Amalek, the remembrance of Amalek, every man, woman, child, ox, and sheep. So the point that no one should say, oh, this sheep used to belong to someone from Amalek, right? All of them must be gone. Gone. That is the commandment for all generations that you must remember to have you emphasized enough that they must be obliterated. It's actually the haftarah of this week's, because of its Shabbos Zachor, talks about King Saul, which we won't get so much into here, but he had the chance to obliterate Amalek, and he left the king alive, because, oh, we'll just keep him alive for another few days. And because he did that, he ended up impregnating this mate or whatever, and then the tribe of Amalek actually continued. So he was so close to actually wiping them out, and they continued, which Haman eventually came from them. And all the evils that we've had to deal with, Amalek has always been there, and always we haven't shaken them fully yet. But anyway, so this is something that's incumbent upon every man, woman, and child to remember this commandment about Amalek, and that's what we read in the Shabbos before Purim.